no joke, this might be the biggest thing that affects your entire RPG world, especially if you're like me and you've got hundreds of PDFs that you're trying to read through, and especially if you're dealing with DRM locked down and you can't make any changes to help you see the PDF the way that you want to, which may or may not line up with the way the creator intended for you to see it. So this is one small tweak, like literally one small tweak that can change everything to do with how you read RPGs, in contrast to how you interact with them in book form. So hopefully this will help you out a lot. And if it does, spread the word. We need more creators and consumers, players, gamers to know about this one detail they don't want you to know. It's not that nobody wants you to know it. I think everybody would want to know this. It's just that nobody knows that this is a thing that's even possible. So that's why I'm making this video, to try to get this message out into the world as much as possible to help you level up and actually enjoy reading PDFs on a computer, to learn more games, be happier, finding what you need to find, even if you're dealing with PDFs that are locked down with DRM protection and any of that kind of stuff. So let's get into it. Now, this is a holdover from the world of publishing, and as a creator, this is a very, very frustrating thing to deal with. And hang on. If you are making an actual book, then there are some traditions and things that you've got to be mindful of. And usually the first thing is that you've got the cover of the book, and then you open it, and there might be some detail on the back side of the cover, but there would be a page 1 here, essentially, but you've got this kind of thing, and then table of contents. But the first page of information of actual content would be page 1 here on the right-hand side. So inside the book, every odd page is on the right-hand side, and every even page is on the left-hand side. So if you've got a 2-page spread, which I'm not sure I can find any off the top of my head here, but if you've got a 2-page spread that will carry over from one page to the other, then when you are laying out the book in your design program, you've got the left and right page, or left and right page there, and your image goes across both. And when you're publishing, it all is laid out properly. Okay, so from the world of physical publications and real books, when we start looking at PDFs, PDFs are going to interact much differently than we do with physical books, because the physical book, there's one way to interact with it. You open it, you look at it, you turn the page, easy. But a PDF, you can look at it as a single page, you can look at it as 2 pages, and whether there's a cover or no cover affects the layout of everything else. But most companies are releasing their PDFs under DRM so that you can't change it, you can't edit, you can't even add bookmarks. It's all locked down, because sometimes there can be a 2-page spread, but it's wonky due to how we're looking at it. So the solution that a lot of creators have found is to make single pages and make spreads, which are the left and right page together as one page. So you look at it as one page continuous, but in reality, it's both pages, the left and right, as you would see it, to ensure that it's laid out properly. Well, all this extra frustration from creating the layouts, from the person who's releasing the product, having to release 2 flavors, One is the single pages and the other is the spreads. This is a holdover from there being no standard for how we interact and view PDFs, except there is a way that we can change how the PDFs look. So this habit, this very common practice of having to create and release two different kinds of PDFs for every game that a creator is releasing is doubling the amount of work on the creators, and it's doubling the amount of PDFs that we collectors are keeping track of. And it's all because most folks, like, I didn't know that this was a thing for the longest time. So there's one little thing that you can actually change in a PDF viewer that will make all of this redundant, and we don't need it. So I desperately hope that more people find out about this. And if you do find this useful, please give this a like, share it with folks, get the word out, because if we can help creators lower the amount of work that they need to do to get something out to market, because if everybody who's collecting and reading all of these PDFs knows about this detail, then they won't expect twice as much work from every creator. So it'll be much more efficient, much easier, and less headache on us. So I want to show you what I'm talking about with a quick screen share. So let's dive into that now. Now, to make this as clear as I can, I want to do this screen share, and I'm currently using Adobe Acrobat. I've opened the Sprawl Goons Carbon Edition, which is all of that game in one PDF, to show you what I mean. So most of the time, most PDF viewers are going to have page one as kind of the book's cover, and then everything else would be like the back cover, and then this would be page one. Now, what's interesting is that some creators, like this guy, the Paul who designed and compiled all of this right here, Paul D. Gallagher, um, they are putting page numbers here. So you can see this is page 1, 2, and 3. So 3 is on the right, which it should be, because odd numbers from the world of publishing, if you open the book, 3 should be on the right. So this is theoretically correct. So we've got the cover, then the back cover, and page 3. But okay, this would usually be page 1, but we at least have the odd numbers on the right, which is correct, kind of. Because if we jump to page 70, then you can see the appendix 1, the flow, and it's a map of the city called the flow. And then the second part of the map is on the left, and this is here. So this 2-page spread is out of whack. So the even numbers are on the left, odd numbers are on the right, which should be correct, but the layout is not correct. So something here is wacky. Well, here, page 69 is one of those, this page left intentionally blank kind of details, which is there to make sure that the layout is correct. But I'm looking at it in a 2-page scroll thing, and it's not correct. So we could go to a view of this. Let's see. Should be. Oh, I've got my screen recorder, and it's right over how this is going, but it's fine. So most of the time, what I would do to try to fix this would be go way back to page 1 and then try to edit the document, add a page right after the cover, so that this would be now on the right and this would be on the left, and that would correct the layout. But since most are DRM, You can't add a page. You can't even add bookmarks to it. So that's insanely frustrating. But check this out. When you are in, like, this is Adobe Acrobat. When you are in the 2-page continuous scroll view, then there's this little detail here that is include the cover page in the 2-page view. This never made sense to me. Like, what even is this? But when you click it, it doesn't put the cover off by itself. It counts it as part of the spread. So now, instead of Sprawl Goon's upgraded Carbon Edition being on the left, it's now on the right. So it has shifted every page by one. So now you can see that the layouts, oh, this looks better because the Sprawl lexicon has a little box around it, and this 2-page spread makes sense. But weirdly, page 3 is on the left and page 4 is on the right, which is backwards from how you number physical books. So in order to get the layout correct from this PDF, you have to violate the print traditions of how this all works. So that's frustrating. But when you enable or disengage that detail, let's go back to page 70. Now this blank page has Appendix 1, the flow, and now this map is properly laid out and you're seeing it as a 2-page spread the way that it should be viewed. But this is actually all single pages. And hopefully this makes sense of where viewing a single page PDF in the 2-page layout, but it could be off by 1 page. This little feature, the include the cover page in the 2-page view, toggle it on or off, will affect the layout of everything else after it because it's all going to be off by 1 page, one way or the other. So there's no standard term for what this is. And there aren't that many PDF viewers that even enable you to do this kind of thing. But it's ultra useful, especially for DRM locked down PDFs, because you're not changing the file itself. You're changing the way that the program displays the file. Okay. So what if you aren't using Adobe PDF? Well, there's an open source free PDF viewer that I know can do this as well. And I'm going to hot switch over to this, and it's called Skim. And we've got the same detail here where the cover is its own thing, and then the spreads are here. And again, we've got 3 on the right. So the thing that we are looking for is called book mode inside Skim. So you can engage or disengage book mode, and it will toggle where that cover shows up. So some files set this as cover, and then this is page 1. Some don't, but this is the thing that you switch on and off to affect the layout, so that when you do get down to the flow, it is displayed properly. With it. Okay. So if you don't see book mode here in the icons, you can right click customize toolbar, and then you can find it over here and just drag it into place. But that is the feature that you're looking for. All right. So hopefully you can now see how useful this is. And for a couple final thoughts, I want to get back to the good camera. So wild, right? Like, how does this not have a standard term or word or idea? even though this is something that is going to affect how you read every single PDF from now to kingdom come. Like, how is this not better known? So that's why I have to rely on you to like this video, because that's one of the main ways that YouTube figures out whether or not it should show this video to other cool folks like you. So you could be a part of getting the message out, because everybody in this hobby that reads PDFs, which is everybody, needs to know about this thing. So thank you so much for helping get the word out. And if you want to make this YouTube official, you can subscribe to the channel. That will help you stay in the loop on other fun stuff that I discover, figure out, and want to share. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for sticking through to the end. I appreciate you. And I'm going to let YouTube show you the next video of mine it thinks you'd get the most out of, and I'll go hang out with you there.